to the BUCS desk, please. Now, we wouldn't be able to have a swimming competition without this team, so please join me in welcoming to poolside our technical officials and referees.
Well, hello, a very warm welcome, a good morning to Ponds Forge International Sports Centre for a live streamed coverage of the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championship 2021. It is, of course, day 2. This is all part of the Speedo and BUCS swimming series. We've got 3 sessions today, the third and final of which this evening will be our final session. But before that, plenty of action in the men's and women's heats. A lineup of what we've got coming up very shortly. Just to let you know, we have got 2 pools here for the Short Course Swimming Championship at Ponds Forge. You've got the men's pool and the women's pool. This morning, we are going to be focusing on the men's swimming. So we're going to be watching the heats for the 200-metre freestyle, 50-metre backstroke, 50-metre breaststroke and the 100-metre butterfly. You can, if you want to, watch the women's racing. So on YouTube there are 2 streams. There's a South Pool stream, which is the men's, and a North Pool stream, which is the women's. If you're watching on Facebook, we're going to be focusing this morning on the men's. This afternoon we will switch to the women's, and then for this evening's finals, that's all we're going to be focusing on, of course. So plenty to come across the weekend. Did have 1 session, of course, last night. That was the endurance events, the 1500-metre freestyle, and a few relays involved in there as well. But again, this morning, for the men's, the 200 free, 50 back, 50 breast and 100-metre butterfly. In the women's, you can be watching same events, 200 freestyle, 50 back, 50 breaststroke and 100 fly. Again, on our second YouTube stream channel, so you can watch everything. And of course, it's going to be available for you throughout the weekend and onwards. So come back and flick through and find any races that you or your loved ones or your teammates are involved in. And look, just like that, we've already got our first heats. And don't be confused, heat number 10, that is absolutely correct. The way we run these heats in these earlier sessions is to have the fastest 3 heats first, and then we will go back to the first, in this situation, 9 heats. So in every event in the sessions, the fastest 3 heats will be run first. That's why they are the higher numbers. And then once we've had the fastest 3 heats in our 4 events this morning, we're then going to come back to, it'll be the men's 200-metre freestyle, and we'll have our opening 9 heats. But don't worry, I'll talk you all through it, and we're going to have a great morning, afternoon and evening. We've got tomorrow's swimming as well. So a big thank you to our sponsors, Speedo, of course the Speedo and BUCS swimming series. Fantastic to have such an internationally recognised name on board. And if you are here at Ponds Forge, they are going to be selling event merchandise in the foyer. So hoodies, t-shirts, variety of fantastic apparel at fantastic prices, true. So go and chat to the team in store or on the balcony to find out a little bit more. Across the next couple of days, get involved in the conversation using the hashtag SpeedoBucks. We are on Instagram and Twitter. So it'd be great to hear from you across the next couple of days. And leave a chat in the, leave a message in the chat box on the streams. Any questions, messages, we'll do our best to read out as many as possible. So in the background, you might hear plenty of whistles and cheers and a racer's names being announced, because the two pools are running side by side. So first up, we're going to be watching the men's, of course. And just to my left-hand side, the first women's race of the day is getting underway. So you're going to hear that across the weekend in the background. But in the men's, you've got Jude Lydiard in lane 0. Then from the top, Andrew Hong, Ben Cope, Charlie Brown, Jonathan Rutter, Thomas Watkin, Cam Brooker, Eugene Brooks-Clark, Theo Cannon and Konstantinos Onefru. So we're going to see heats 10, 11 and 12 in the men's 200 metre freestyle. And here we go then, our Saturday is underway. Again, 3 heats. And the first 9 will start a little bit later. Our afternoon session is going to start from 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock to be confirmed, to be quite precise, depending on how this morning session goes. And it will be an incredibly competitive weekend. As the morning goes on, I'll explain how the progression to the finals works, the heat sessions and the general format, and also the swimming event points, not BUCS points this weekend, but swimming event points. We're going to run through those as well. So anticipating times around about the mid-140s for our winners in these fastest 3 heats. Could get down to the 143s or thereabouts. Jonathan Rutter of Oxford leading the way with 50 minutes to go, but a very tight opening first heat, and you can expect this in our 3 fastest heats. These are on paper our 30 fastest in each event you're going to be seeing first. And still Rutter of Oxford just holding off Thomas Watkin and Cam Brooker of Sheffield, Hallam and Bath. In fact, in lane number 5, Thomas Watkin came right back, right at the end there. Look at that. Just over a tenth separating him from Rutter, the leader for the first, 190 metres. And Cam Brooker a solid third. All those men under 150. So 1:49.14, the time to beat for the likes of Jacob Goodman, Elliot Clogg, Felix Albeck and Alex Bragazi. Those men coming up in heats 11 and 12. Here we go then, heat number 11. Got Miles Lapsley, John Britton, Charlie Poole, Henry Baker, Jacob Goodman, Elliot Clogg, Finn Nicol, Jacques Boncel, Stefano Mitchell and Michael Flynn. All of these great universities descending on Sheffield. Fantastic venue here at Ponds Forge. Been lucky enough to be here a few times for events of this magnitude. Of course, the last time we were here with the BUCS was 2019 for this event. So a couple of year break, and fantastic to be back in the venue. And although no official spectators here this weekend, it is a fairly packed crowd because there are so many competitors, coaches and teammates. As we move our way into the afternoon and evening sessions, it is going to be an absolutely cracking atmosphere. Heat number 11, the names to watch are Jacob Goodman and Elliot Clogg of Loughborough and Derby. And they are your 2 men out front. 2 tenths separating, then a full second back to likes of Nicol, Boncel and Baker. .1:49 quickest time from heat number 10. Now, just because these are the 3 fastest heats, it does not mean that anybody in the first 9 heats that we'll watch later can't make it through to the final, the A final or the B final. It just gives these fastest and most likely swimmers to be in those finals a little bit more time to rest and recuperate before our final sessions. Could of course be taking part in other events as well. And still side by side, Jacob Goodman and Elliot Clogg. And they're going to go well under the time set of 1:49. In fact, under 1:48 for Jacob Goodman, 1:47.8. Half a second back in the end to Elliot Clogg. Best of the rest, Finn Nicol, 1:49.09. So that's 6 times thus far sub 150 in our opening 2 heats. When we do eventually get to our finals later on tonight and tomorrow afternoon, there are 2 finals, an A final and a B final. The fastest 10 and the second fastest 10. Of course, those in the A final will be going for the gold, silver and bronze. And heat 12. So these should be our fastest 2 men in the centre, Felix Aubeck and Alex Bragazi. We've also got Fairclough, Fairburn, Williams, Riley, and Cooley, Elric, McLaughlin and O'Connor. So just as we were touching on the awards, BUCS medals will be awarded to the first 3 individuals or teams in each event. Trophies awarded to the top overall institution, calculated using our swimming event points, the top men's and women's teams, top male and female performances, and the top male and female para swimming performances too. Ceremonies take place immediately after the conclusion of session number 4. That's our last session tonight. And at the end of session 6, which is our second session tomorrow. So a slightly shorter day tomorrow. Para and deaf swimming presentations at the conclusion of sessions 3 and 5. Top 10 swimmers in each heat advance to the A final. And the B finals made up from those ranked 11 to 20 from the heats. Shortly just explain how the BUCS and swimming event points work, but let's focus on what should be our quickest. So we've already had a 1:47 in lane number 4. Felix Aubeck of Loughborough going really nicely, and up in lane 2, Josh Williams of Swansea, closest competitor. Look at that, 1:47.6. So by my calculations, those 4 men there, the top 4, will be in our A final. This is all to be confirmed. And then 3 swimmers each, the top 3 from heats 10 and 11, will make up our fastest 10. The likes of Alex Bragazi, Greg Fairburn, they'll be able to make it into the B final. But with the big caveat, it's TBC because we've still got 9 heats to go in this event. The slower 9 heats later on this morning. So nothing is confirmed until we've seen all 12, but they are our fastest 3 heats. And we'll expect to see those men a little bit later. Moving on next, we've got the fastest 3 heats to come. In the men's 50-metre backstroke, heat number 13, 14 and 15 to come. Up first, Alfie Scott, Ali Abdularam, Shakil Jordani, Harry Noble, Harry Shullerman, Harry Turner, David Cumberledge, Oliver Morgan, Eugene Brooks-Clark and Jacob Carrington. So these will be absolutely rapid, just 2 lengths of the short course pool. Again, if you're just joining us, 2 pools operating this morning, the men's pool and the women's pool. officially the North and South, but I'm going to be calling them the men's and the women's. You can watch the women's events if you want to on our second YouTube channel. And in lane number 5, cracking swim there from Harry Turner, 24.71. 4 tenths or so slower than his entry time coming into this one, but good enough for the win in heat number 13. On paper, we could see a sub 24 in heat number 15. Andreas Vazaus of Loughborough with that time, but for the time being, heat number 14, Freddie Ashley Sparks, Bjorn van Oord, Sam Pease, Jonathan Adam, Nicholas Pyle, Liam White, Zach Speakman, Simon Clement, Thomas Clare and Sam Williams. .24.71 the fastest time. Look out for Nicholas Pyle in 4 and Liam White in 5. Pyle with a 24 on the button for the 21-year-old from Stirling.
We move on to event 2, it's really which is the women's 50 metres backstroke. We lead with the fastest 3 heats.
Cracking start there for Liam White, isn't it? My goodness, metre ahead at the halfway stage already. Got off like an absolute train. And if he's going to get caught, the only man is Zach Speakman. Just hold on, Liam White, 24.08. Speakman, 24.81. And the third place, Nicholas Pyle, 25.26. Bit of an anxious wait now for these swimmers in these opening heats, finding out where they're going to possibly be in the finals this evening. Final session, FYI, scheduled to start roughly 6:15, but just keep your eyes open. It's all to be confirmed based on how our 2 earlier sessions go. Heat number 15, Tom Gambold, Matt Gray, Alexander Armstrong, Scott Gibson, Andreas Vazaus, Joe Small, Moritz Hughes, Connor Massey, Thomas Pickering and Will Ellis. Top universities to be watching out for in terms of teams: Loughborough, Stirling and Edinburgh. Always do incredibly well at these championships. Plethora of fantastic swimmers and athletes, both the men's and the women's. So 24.08 our new quickest time. That was set by Liam White. Great swim from Andreas Vazaus, fastest on paper and fastest in the pool, 23.93, quickest of our 3 fastest heats. And that surely that will pretty much nail his spot for a centre lane in our A final tonight. Joe Small and Scott Gibson either side, often in terms of lanes and timings. They are both pretty quick too, sub-25s. Be confident of being in our A final from 6:15 onwards. Coming up next, fastest 3 heats in the men's 50-metre breaststroke. Officially heats 15, 16 and 17, so that just gives you an idea of how much more action we've got coming up later in this session. But we will absolutely fly through them, these 50 metres, none of them taking a lot longer than 30 seconds. Heat 15 then, James Brett, Oswald Hood, Toby Sawade, George Hopkins, Greg Butler, Andrew Wilson, Panayotis Paranatos, Will Ellington, Luke Hoey and Angus Blant. So we're looking at times roughly 52, 53 seconds for our quickest swimmers over the next 3 heats. Sorry, 27.28. I was looking at the 100-metre butterfly timings there. Jumped well ahead of myself. So, yeah, 26.27 seconds for the quickest. And heat 15, Panayotis Paranatos, 27.68 sets the marker down. Greg Butler and Andrew Wilson separated by 300ths, just outside 28 seconds. So Panayotis puts his marker not quite in the sand, but in the water. Heat 16, Ross Neely, James King, Marcos Lakavodis, Thomas Wiggins, Sam Neild, David Bloomfield, Rory Dixon, Hugh Takamoto, Tom Hamilton and Adam Wood. So some swimmers there from heat number 15 getting out the pool. Officially we do have over the top starts, so can start the races whilst the previous heat swimmers are still in their lanes. You see they're in lanes 0 to 3, those have remained. Not entirely sure why the swimmers on the near side made their way out of the pool, but off we go. Sam Neild, quickest on paper in this one, he goes in lane number 4. 21-year-old from Surrey, 27.8. David Bloomfield, 22-year-old Loughborough though, leading the way. In fact, Rory Dixon having a good swim too. 27.37. Almost 8 full tenths ahead of Rory Dixon. That's a cracking swim from Bloomfield. Sam Neild not his best at 28.35. And heat 17 then. Going to see Ryan Larkin, Joseph Moore, David Shipman, Alex Cahoon, Archie Goodburn, Usain Cook, Connor Bryan, Ali Bobas, Dan Kinsella and Louis Edwards-Pratt. And again, if you just joined us this morning, don't be put off by any noises you hear in the background, whistles going off and races starting. We do have 2 pools here in Sheffield running concurrently, the women's North Pool and the men's South Pool. You can watch the women's action. We've got a second YouTube stream. Just go and find BUCS on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, we're going to be focusing on one pool only. And that is the men's first thing this morning. For the afternoon, we'll focus on the women's North Pool. And then the finals, of course, tonight, we just focus on one pool only because that's where all the action is going to be happening for men's and women's events. So Archie Goodburn, 27.5 is his entry time. Being chased very hard by Alex Cahoon. This is very tight, those 3 gents. It is Goodburn ahead of Cahoon, then Cook. What's that? 2 tenths separating, 1900 separating the top 3 there. That'll be a cracking final. They could be, they're going to be taking up at least 3 of the centre 5 lanes later on tonight. Only seen 2 other times sub 28 in our 2 other heats. Can anybody later on this afternoon or this morning pull off a great swim and join them in those A or B finals? Right, on to our final event. Not necessarily heat though, it's the men's 100 metre butterfly. This is heat 11. Lucas Dyson Diaz, Harry Jones, Neil Wiley, Ross Leslie, Lewis Fraser, Cole Hewitt, Brian Long, Aaron Fox, Albert Andika Bangan and Jake Thomas Mansfield. As previously mentioned, a bit ahead of time, looking around about 53, 54 seconds for these guys. Now, for these swimming event points, which is how we calculate our winning swimmers and teams, in each event, only the fastest individual from each institution will score points. So, for example, where there is more than one A finalist from the same institution or university, only the highest ranking will score points. The subsequent point scoring will be determined by the rankings in the B final and all heats as applicants until the swimmers from 10 different institutions have received points. So, to get points for your university or institution, you don't necessarily have to be in the A or B final. All teams are eligible and times and heats are eligible. Let's focus on heat number or lane number 4 here. Lewis Fraser, there we go, 53.73, right in that window we were looking at. Aaron Fox, 54.41, 7/10 back, and in third place in the heat, Neil Wiley, 54.71, but sub 54 for Fraser. That is the time for our competitors in heat number 12 to be focusing on or be aware of. Heat 12, Theo Cannon, Chris Muir, Dan Morley, Archie Goodburn, Jamie Ingram, Josh Gammon, George Barber, Lewis Maxwell, Peter Allen and Sam Greenbank. Just back to the swimming points for you. The individual events are scored by first place, getting 10 points, second place 9 points, and decreasing down to 1. Relay teams scored double, and only the teams in the A final, that's very important, only the teams in the A final score points, except in the case of a disqualification or a no-show, in which case the B final can be taken into consideration. So, fantastic start then for lane 4's Archie Goodburn of Loughborough. Sorry, Jamie Ingram of Manchester in lane number 4. Get my perspectives right, there he is, 51.94. That is a great time from Jamie. Cracking, sub 52. That's first class. Josh Gammon, second place, 53.88. That is nearly 2 seconds difference between Ingram and Gammon. Third place on the far side, Chris Muir, 54.93. I think George Barber might be disappointed with his 55.5. In fact, just a shake of the head there from Barber. And on to heat number 13. Will McIntyre, Benjamin Choyen, Jacob Goodman, Mark Elric, Andreas Vezaus, Tom Bealey, Tom Carswell, Jake Fabi, James Simmons and Shackle Giordani. Now lane number 4, Andreas Vezaus. You're not hearing things. He did swim just about 10 minutes ago in the 50-metre backstroke. So incredibly talented swimmer, going for multiple medals across this weekend, absolutely no doubt about that. 27-year-old from Loughborough, 50.7 is time coming into this one on the paperwork in front of us. Going to be outside that by a little distance, but good enough, 53.03. I mean, he has just swum about 10 minutes ago, a great time in the 50 back. So expect to see Vezaus in a couple of finals tonight as a minimum. So that is our fastest 3 heats done and dusted in the 4 events we're going to be watching this morning. And what we do now is go back to and run the same 4 events, but the earlier heats. And again, what that does, it just gives those faster swimmers a bit more time to rest and get ready for their finals later on tonight. And that's why they do the fastest 3 heats, not just the fastest heat, to give the most swimmers the opportunities with those quick times, chances to rest. So now we're going to see heats 1 to 9 in the men's 200-metre freestyle. Yeah, 1 to 9, just double checking in my own head that was correct. Heats 1 to 9 now. In the 200 freestyle. We will then see the earlier heats again in the 50 back, 100 fly and 50 breaststroke. So a slightly different order. So the three taking part in heat number 1 of the 200 free got Joseph Richardson of Cardiff in lane number 3. In 4, James Bear Park of Coventry. And in lane number 5, Joseph Clark of Sheffield Hallam. He is swimming in the S6 para category.
At the halfway mark in heat number 10 of this women's 100 metres butterfly, 26.55 was the fastest set down by Louise Hansen of Loughborough. She's into her
So great again to have Speedo on board, the new headline swimming partners. Many prizes to give away this weekend, including power banks, towels, bags, and the latest fast skin goggles. So grab your swim squad and mascots and tag at Speedo UK in any photos throughout the day. The best photos are going to win prizes each day, okay? So grab your teammates, grab your coaches, upload photos to your Instagram and your Twitter, tag at Speedo UK, and you can be winning Speedo goodies or Speedo provided goodies in power banks, towels, bags, and some lovely goggles as well. And again, any messages that you send on the chat boxes in both the YouTube and Facebook, we're going to try and keep our eye on as many as possible and read out messages for you. We'd love to do that, so get involved, keep up with the conversation, and use the hashtag SpeedoBucks. So entry times I've got for Bear Park in lane number 4 is 2:38. Joseph Clark is a 4:42. Nothing on paper for Joseph Richardson. So but a 2:11 though, 56 is his time. And James Bear Park with a 2:43.6, so a few seconds outside his best. And Joseph Clark, the S6 swimmer from Sheffield Hallam, 27-year-old, 4:42. Now at any time across the weekend or after the weekend's concluded, if you do want to watch your race back, everything's going to be available for you. We are covering both pools, although on Facebook we're just concentrating on the one. We've got both channels showing on YouTube. So for all your highlights, do follow at BUCS Sport on Twitter and Instagram. They'll be showing the best little bits that they can collect throughout the weekend. But at any time, everything's available. Go back, watch your races, and enjoy the Speedo and BUCS 2021 Short Course Championship. Did have one session last night where we had the 4x50 freestyles. The heats, the finals of those are going to be this evening. And we had some heat declared winners for the 1500 metre freestyle in the men's and the women's. And again, that was shown last night, so you can go back and watch that. And here comes Joseph Clark then. Again, his time coming in 4:42. He's going to be inside that just about with a few metres to go. Very close indeed, but he does go under. Well done, Joseph. 4:37.72, 5 seconds quicker than his time coming in. Now, from first thing this morning, I got to the pool around about 8:30 today, with our first races at 9:30. And I can't tell you, it was already absolutely heaving in here. Of course, COVID restrictions and things in place, but my goodness, just so good to see an event of this magnitude taking part And going ahead, heat number 2 for the men's 200 freestyle. You've got Aaron Rampal, Sebastian Abbott, Dara Clark, Oliver Rooney, Raphael McMahon, Basil Pochet, Leon Shaw, Matt Newson and Oscar Jones. And our faster heats this morning, I say this morning, it's still this morning, isn't it? Only about 20 minutes ago or so. We were seeing the likes of 146s, 147s. Over the next 8 heats, we could get close to the low 150s. Unless anybody pulls something absolutely out the bag and can make their way into an A or B final. I tell you what, in lane number 2, Dara Clark of Aston, 19-year-old. His time on paper is a 2:17. He's a good 5 or 6 metres ahead of the field. And he's having a cracking swim. Lane number 7, Matt Newson of East Anglia, the best of the rest. But this is a great swim from lane number 2. And has he gone out a little bit too early, maybe? We'll find out over the next 50 metres or so.
In the North Pool, it's heat number 2.
And don't worry, you can ignore the heat timings down in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Because there's your winner, Dara Clark, 2:06.66. That is more than 10 seconds quicker than his entry time. Leon Shaw overtakes Matt Newson and Basil Pochet at the end. Matt Newson was going well, wasn't he, at 50 metres to go, overtaken by McMahon, Pochet and Shaw. But nobody could catch Dara Clark. Heat number 3. Coming up any moment. You can see this one is already on the platforms again, over the top starts to make sure we can run with complete efficiency. Just speeds things up a little bit. Miles Byron, Oliver Kimber, George Richenberg, Ewan Curry, Owen Webster, Benjamin Strover, Lawrence Gilfrin, Alfie Jones, Antonio Mars and Lewis Clark in this one. Now, session officially number 3 is our 2 o'clock session this afternoon. That's where we're going to focus on the women's North Pool. So men's this morning, women's this afternoon, and then everybody together for the final later. But just a heads up, for that women's session, we'll be focusing on the 200-metre backstroke, the 50-metre freestyle, 200 breaststroke, and the 800-metre freestyle. 2 heats in that one. That will be a heat-declared winner event. So no final later on tonight for the 800s. We will have our first medalist of the day around about 3:30 or so. But the majority of those will be given out at the conclusion of our 6:15 session. We have A and B finals and all the events that we're seeing this morning. Lawrence Gilfrin of Warwick having a good swim in this one. 21-year-old, 2:08.6 his entry. At least 1.5 seconds ahead of Curry and Richenberg in lanes 1 and 2. Now, has he done enough to win this heat? Because Curry and Richenberg are making their way back. He has done enough, hasn't he? 5 metres to go. It will be a 50 more metres. I think it might have been a different story. But Lawrence Gilfer in 2:03.9. The gap was closing to Curry. But his first 150 metres set him up and put him on track for the win in heat number 3. Heat number 4, you're going to be watching Harry Brown. He's in lane 0. That's from the top of your screen. Then comes Mark Tuddenham, Robbie Wright, Cameron McKinnon, Morgan Davies, Alex Zalaf, Adam Wu, Ben Reed, Alessandro Casati and Liam Snook. That's a quick start from Snook in lane number 9. And, still leads the way. In fact, dead heat between him and Davies. A real spread across the pool from this one. Top 3 leaders far near and centre. Don't see that too often. This is a great race at the halfway stage. Snook on the turn, fantastic turns, isn't he? Legs like tree trunks pushing off the board. Just seems to get an extra edge. And up in lane number 1, Mark Tuddenham of Southampton. And they are neck and neck. Well, almost a second now from Tuddenham. So Snook, the early leader. Great start to this race. A little bit of work to do into the final 50. Tuddenham, 24-year-old from Southampton, 2:05 on the entry. And with 50 metres to go, it's he and Snook of Birmingham. And this will be Tuddenham's race. Can he drop under 2 minutes? He can indeed. 1:58.46. That is 7 seconds quicker than his entry. And Liam Snook settling for second place, 2 minutes and half a second. And then we said in the centre, Morgan Davies. So enjoyable to watch heat number 4. And on to heat 5. We have Adam Evans, Finlay Jones-Wright, William Earl, Felix Gallagher, Ethan Fincham, Ewan Sturgeon, Atticus Strickland, Sam Wortley, Henry Bennett and Ethan Sutherland. Quick start this time. It's William Earl of Durham in lane number 2. 19-year-old. All of these swimmers, all 10 of these swimmers, the entry times separated by less than 1.5 seconds. And that's in fact the case for, well, several of our next few heats as well. So, you know, on paper these should be incredibly close, but as we saw in heat number 4, Talk about what you do on the day, what you had for breakfast, maybe. And that's a phenomenal first 100 for a Heat 5 swim from William Earl, 55.14. Visibly 3 or 4 body lengths ahead and 4 seconds on paper. I would anticipate that gap coming down over the next 75 metres, but possibly not to the extent of the full 4 seconds. What is it this time? It was 3.9. It's now 4.1 and 5 seconds out to Wortley. My goodness me. William Earl in the white cap of Durham. And it is a solid closing final 50, in fact, from Atticus Strickland in 6. And he almost halved the gap. In fact, he did halve the gap to William Earl over the final 50. But what a start from Earl, a 1:59.32 finishing time. He'll be very pleased with that. Takes his cap off, runs his hand through his head. That was some effort, that. Great racing early on day number 2 of the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships, part of the Speedo and BUCS Swimming Series. That series made up of the short course, the long course and the team championships. On to heat number 6 in the 200 free. Flynn Ryan, Rory Taylor, Blue Edmonds, Luke Wilby, Etienne Tillon, Jared Armstrong, Max Underwood, Alfie Scott, Matty Johnson and Louis Easton. So missing Luke Wilby of Manchester in lane number 3. Just a reminder, if you did want to watch any of the sessions from last night, they are available on the BUCS YouTube channel. Just search for BUCS and then filter to videos. There are 3 videos there for you from our session number 1. But the women's 1500 metre freestyle, the men's 1500 metre free, and you've also got the mixed 4x50 medley relays. Finals of those relays are later on today or tonight. 3 sessions today. We'll be switching pools to the women's for our afternoon session. Then all of the finals take place in the North Pool. If you're interested, we're currently watching the South Pool for the men's racing. And out in front, you got Blue Edmonds of Leeds. His teammate, in fact, Rory Taylor, to his left-hand side, is in second place. Half a second separates them on their entry times. And the win for Blue Edmonds, 1:57.64. These times are getting nice and quick now. They might not be able to get into that B final, but these are really good times for effectively the slower heats of the 12 in total, but times to be pretty proud of. And Rory Taylor, sub 2 minutes, joins his Leeds teammate Edmonds in the top 2 in the heat. And in third place, Alfie Scott, 2700s outside the 2 minute mark. Heat number 7. Going to be watching Elliot Derrick on the far side, then comes Darian de Klerk, Henry Oliver, Daniel Saunders, Bob Whittaker, Henry Rideout, Benjamin Titchener, Sandy Jarvis, Luke Chapman and Fernando Garcia on the near side. Now, if you're a competitor or a coach or anyone involved in any institution or university, if you're interested in some new teamwear for your swim team, come and see our teamwear specialists at the venue next to the retail space to find out a bit more. You can sign up to Speedo's teamwear platform for your chance to win a £250 voucher for Speedo.com. So if you are looking for some new Speedo teamwear kit, speak to the guys here at the venue there, set up next to the retail space. That is to the right-hand side of the main doors as you come into the pool at balcony level, just behind the cafe. Just by doing so, you can got a chance to win a £250 voucher for Speedo.com. So well worth just going over for the conversation alone, let alone the chance to be kitted out in a Speedo wear. So Luke Chapman of St Andrews in lane number 8, leading the way. On the far side, lane 0, Elliot Derrick of Warwick. And into the final 15 metres, that will be your top two. There we go, just caught it. Luke Chapman, 1:57.56, a couple of tenths ahead of Elliot Derrick. Third place, Henry Oliver, so 3 times there under 2 minutes. Luke Chapman of St Andrews leading the way. So 2 more heats to come in this one, heats 8 and 9. Then we will move on to the 50-metre backstroke. Plenty of heats to come in that one. And before you know it, the morning session will be done and dusted. 2 o'clock is our to be confirmed start time for the afternoon session. And 6:15 onwards for our final. So just make sure you hit the notification button and reminder buttons on the videos, so you can keep up to speed if things do change slightly, and they can do. You all know swimming events, they do our absolute best. Great team here at Sheffield running the event from BUCS. And do their utmost to keep things on schedule. Heat number 8, you've got Ethan Wright, James Allison, Bradley Evans, Jake Fabi, William Graham, Ben Newell, Ruben Alexander, Jan Devey, Kabir Beatty and Daniel English. William Graham of York, your early leader. Tighter heat this one, you've got 3 swimmers within 77 hundredths, 5 or 6 within 2 seconds. As we've seen in earlier heats, very capable of closing down 2 seconds or more in the final 50 metres alone. So these 4 up the top, all going for heat 8 glory. Look at that, 1:37 now separating your top 4. Another 5 swimmers 3+ seconds back. And into the final 25, William Graham is going to be holding on, and he is going to be chased hard. by Bradley Evans and James Allison. Oh my goodness me. Oh, we got second place, William Graham. Look at that. Just over a tenth, Bradley Evans. Love this racing. Nothing's ever over till it's done in 200 metres. James Allison third place, and in fourth, falling back slightly, Ethan Wright, but great swim from those three. Graham overtaken by Evans in the last 15 metres. And we've got one heat to come then. And 1:54 in fact, great time too. A couple of seconds quicker than heat 6 and Southern. Heat 9 got Tom Selby, Jevon Penny, Thomas Woolley, Piers Bowden, Aaron Preece, Joseph Palmer, Nick Skelton, Sam Naylor, Finley Chapman and David Morton. In fact, we've got no David Morton in lane number 9, so just 9 competitors in heat number 9. A quick start from Finley Chapman, 20-year-old from Sheffield Hallam, local swimmer. 1:56.8 his entry time. Already seen previously 1:54s. Now the times to get into the A and B final possibly likely out of reach. Looking at the 1:44s, 1:45s to get into those a little bit later. So this is for heat winning glory most likely. And it is Chapman, 1.5 seconds from Palmer and Skelton. Preece, Naylor and Woolley, 3/4 of a second further back. Chapman still with that lead. It's been brought down 100th of a second from Nick Skelton. It was 1:37, now 1:36. So we can officially say the gap has been closed. But Chapman still in control. It's getting very tight for the positions in the heat behind him, though. You've got lanes 4, 5 and 6. That's Aaron Preece, Joseph Palmer, and of course Nick Skelton. But no doubt about you when it's going to be Finley Chapman. He's led from the very first metre, and he set the fastest time from the heats numbers 1 to 9. It's a 1:53.6, so great finish to his morning for Chapman. Nick Skelton, and it was Aaron Preece, in fact, in the end that came through in lane number 4 to take third place. Now, just hearing that this session should finish approximately 12:30. So going to give you plenty of time to go away, get some lunch and come back for our afternoon session, which is officially session number 3, or our afternoon session, where we concentrate on the women's pool. Once again, that'll be looking at the 200 metre backstroke, 50 freestyle, 200 breast and the 800 metre free, a heat declared winner event. So we will see medalists potentially in that one, pending anything later. But here we go, then heat number 1, we go back to the men's 50 metre backstroke. Aaron Goodley, Owen Say in the S8 category, and Joseph Clark in the S6 from Canterbury, Nottingham and Sheffield Hallam respectively. And we're going to be enjoying 12 heats to come in the 50 back. In fact, it looks like we might not have Aaron Goodlett of Canterbury in lane number 3, just our S6 and 8 category swimmers. Yeah, certainly not on the podium. Running that around. Off we go then, just 2 swimmers competing then. 12 heats to come. Already seen our 3 fastest heats earlier on this morning. That's the likes of Andreas Verzaus, Joe Small, Nicholas Pyle, Liam White. They're going to be your Guys, you're going to be watching again later.
So please return all declaration sheets for this afternoon's release.
There is, of course, you've always got to give the caveat, the opportunity for anybody in these 12 heats to sneak in and grab a place in the A or B finals. Can happen. It's certainly happened in the past. And Owen Say, 37.16. That for the S8 swimmer from Nottingham, that is 4 seconds quicker than his entry time, which is a 41.10. And what can Joseph Clark do? This is a 55.9 coming in. And is a 101.39 for Clark in the S6 category. So 11 more heats to come in this one. And then a slight change of order from our fastest 3 heats order. We're going to see the 100-metre butterfly still to come later on this morning, and the 50-metre breaststroke earlier heats. Heat 2 of the 50 back, Russ Bartlett, Eloy de Klerk, Ethan Gregson, James Kerr, Amy Wyatt, Luke O'Boyle, Charles Jones, Tom Shannon, Jake Brassington. So a couple of lanes missing in this one. Just lane number 6, Luke O'Boyle of Royal Hollow, not taking part. It's a quick swim coming up in lane number 5. That's really good stuff from Amy Wyatt, 30.88. 3.5 seconds ahead of Eloy de Klerk and Ethan Gregson. That is swimming ahead of his heat number, really. 30 seconds, that could get him down into the likes of heat number 6 or 7 in this event. We're already in heat number 2. So swimming well ahead of his pay grade in that one. Heat number 3, Nathaniel Scarborough, Roy Weller, Danny Patterson, Evan Dyer, Dan Frost, Sam Hurst, Oliver Bayliss, Christian Johnsky, Kieran Jarvis and Tom Mueller. Quick start from Kieran Jarvis. 21-year-old, 33.8 his time coming in. But lane number 6, Oliver Bayliss of Bournemouth coming back, but it will be a win for Jarvis ahead of Bayliss. 31.5 the winning time in heat number 3. Now, I mentioned earlier the prize has been given away by our headline sponsor Speedo. They are offering spot prizes. The new LZR Rave training suit for your chance to win. Post a picture on Instagram with your swim team partner or buddies, and they will pick winners each day. Tag Speedo UK in it and use the hashtag Speedo BUCS for your chance to win. So Instagram upload a photo, tag Speedo UK, and use the hashtag Speedo BUCS, and you could win some seriously good kit. Heat number 4, Alex Beveridge, Aya Gill, Ryan Whittington, Matt Hanlon, Jake Saunders, Nathan Sullivan, Daniel Marriott, James Sanchez Capuchin, Joel Brooks and Miles Miller. Lincoln teammate Saunders and Sullivan are in lanes 4 and 5, but the best starts have come from lanes 0 and 1. That's Alex Beveridge and Ryan Whittington. Aberdeen and Nottingham swimmers. Lane number 6 going well, Daniel Marriott of Southampton. And it is Ryan Whittington, 29 on the button, half a second ahead of Beveridge, 29 seconds for Whittington. Great time. Third place for Daniel Marriott, 29.75. Heat 5, Joe Lancaster, Shaheen Al-Ghafari, Arthur Mears, Jamie Everest, Andreas Strategopoulos, Joe Barnett, Thomas Fort, Charlie Dexter, Tay Scott and Christian Mayano Stephen. So 29 seconds, quickest of our earlier heats. Just to give some perspective from the A and B finals, we are looking at 23, 24 seconds, maybe up to the 25s. And with 6 or 7 heats to come, never know, somebody can get in. Could it be lane at number 1? Shaheen Al-Ghafari, 27.97. Times are rattling down now, aren't they? Tay Scott, bang on 30 seconds down in lane number 8. And Arthur Mears, third place in the heat. Shaheen Al-Ghafari, great time, 27.97. Heat number 6, flying through these, aren't we? Sean Curley, Tobiah Lowe, Sam Cook, James Coward, Samran Sandhu, Casimir, Charlie Bowden, Sarich Lewington, Genki Mayachi and Jacob Bircher. You are watching the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships here at Ponsforge International Sports Centre. Cracking venue for a cracking event, part of the Speedo and BUCS Swim Series, made up by the Short Course, Long Course and Team Championships. 2 pools of action this morning and this afternoon. You are watching the men's swimming with me currently on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to watch the women's pool, I've got a second stream available on YouTube. Just search for BUCS and then go to the videos tab and you can enjoy both. Casimir, 28.68. We get quicker again. In fact, it was Charlie Bowden in lane number 6, is 28.63. So it's a second place for Casimir in the heat.
And touching first in the south pool is Charlie Bowden from Leicester. And we on the heat number 7.
Heat number 7. Tim Moores, Ewan Cresswell, Cam McDonald, James Batty, Jacob Isle, Jonathan Brooks, George Cooper, Timon Chapman, Jacob Smith and Ewan McDonald. All of these men sub 30-second swimmers. You've got 2 out in front. George Cooper in 6 of Newcastle, Jacob Smith of York in 8. Coming between them though, Timon Chapman of East Anglia, and they are your top 3. In fact, Ewan McDonald sneaked in with a 29.66 to take third place. Jacob Smith, your winner, 28.88. And a couple of tenths back, Timon Chapman in second. And all the action happening on this near side of the pool, top 5 on these near 5 lanes, all sub 30. Bit of a correction there for George Cooper, 29.04, puts him in second place. And yeah, so we were correct. It was Smith, Cooper and Chapman, your top 3. Our eyes doth not deceive us. Right, heat number 8. Finlay Strachan, Adam Sanufe, Joe McCallion, Alex Goodacre, Daniel Tate, Kieran Brand, Tom Conti, James Portier, Joel Fernandez and Remy Elias. Now, I would anticipate seeing 9 swimmers taking part. No Joe Fernandez on the starting block. So I'd anticipate seeing 9 times here, under 30 seconds. And they can all go pretty much bang on 29. Just a bit of a delay. Again, we got 2 pools competing at the same time. So anything in the background when you hear whistles, races starting, it is all legitimate. There's 2 pools, one for the men. Officially the South Pool here at Ponds Forge, and the women's is the North Pool. But all of the finals will take place in the same pool, so you don't need to worry about focusing on 2 different streams to catch all your favourite university colleagues and teammates. So finally underway with heat number 8. Far side lane 0, Finlay Strachan of Glasgow, fingertips out in front. James Portier, St Andrews, he's already had a good swim this morning, hasn't he, James Portier? For coming through, lane number 5, going to nick it right at the end, surely does. Kieran Brand from Glasgow, Caledonia, 28.46. And these swimmers on the near side, no delay in finishing their race, getting out of the pool. You're going to see a lot of names on multiple occasions this weekend. Not uncommon whatsoever for swimmers to take part in 4, 5+ events each. And this is, of course, the pinnacle of university swimming. This is the best of the best. And now on to heat number 9 of 12. Alfie Baum, Josh Frampton, Jack Eden, Matt Rooney, Morgan Davies, Scott Coots, William Strachan, Jan DeVey, David Pugh and Jack Colston. The quickest through 25, Matt Rooney of Leeds Beckett in lane number 3. It's in the pinky purpley cap. On the outside, lane number 1 in lane 6 and 7, very tight as well. Strachan and DeVey, they do get second and third. It is Matt Rooney, 26.81, that takes it. A massive jump in reduction of times from heat 8 to 9. All of a sudden gone from around about 29 to 31 to into the mid to high 20s. Heat numbers 10, 11 and 12 to come. We will get down to sort of the sub 27 mark, but can they make their way into any of the A or B finals? It is a big ask. They were doing 24s and 25s earlier on this morning. Tom Watkins-Hagen, Simon Hadfield, Sam Peck, Arya Farak, Adam Wu, Igor Genki Zemanovic, Matthew Sale, Cole Shepherd, William Earl and Daniel Hedden. William Earl of Durham in lane number 8, Jakilia leader. Bit of a challenge coming from Igor Genki Zemanovic in lane number 5. And that is the top 2 order. Third place eventually went to Aria Farak, 28.73, but your winning time, 27.11. It was Earl in lane number 8. 2 heats to come then before we move on to the, well, it might either be the 50-metre backstroke or the 100-metre butterfly. And I say it might be either because it's just slightly contradicting information in the 2 bits of paper I've got, so it'll be a surprise. No doubt about this one though. It is heat number 11 of the 50 back. If any of these guys want to make it into a final, they've got to be hitting a number as low as maybe 25.5 to sneak in. And that is just on my maths, all to be confirmed, if they want to be a B finalist. And going for it in lane 2 is James LeGrice of Warwick. Also got Quinn Walker, Rohit Philip Panikal, Ewan Curry, Alex Catton, Tom Poulton, Max Bolcato, William Fardelgo Hull, AJ Wood and Kelvin Wong. And 27.3 for James LeGrice is your winning time. So 18-year-old from Warwick, LeGrice. And we've got 1 heat to come, 1 last opportunity for our 50 back swimmers. Final heat of the morning of the 50 back. We've got Joseph Giles, Alex Sharman, James McLean, James Simons. I'll wait to continue. So just getting ready. There's a great coordination between the 2 pools here to save any confusion whatsoever. It is really well done. And not an easy task either to accomplish. Many volunteers and officials and referees can make it go so smoothly for us to watch. We were just waiting on official confirmation of those times for heat 11. That was the delay. They have now been confirmed and ratified, so we can now move on to heat number 12. And I'll start again from the top. Joseph Giles, Alex Sharman, James McLean, James Simons, Ethan Lawton, Louis Doyle, Manfred Battle, Louis Choron, Joe Davis and Adrian Ting. Okay, last chance saloon. 25.5 needed. Ethan Lawton fastest on paper from Derby, 26.9. So they hit halfway in around about 13 seconds. And this is far too tight for a commentator to call. My goodness me, maybe lane number 7 and 9 going for it. In fact, Joe Davies got second place, 27.02 for Louis Choron. And all the action happening on these near side 3 lanes. Joe Davis ahead of Adrian Ting. And that concludes our heats for the 50-metre backstroke. And we will now move on to the 50-metre breaststroke. Officially event 206. And we're going to see heats numbers 1 through to heats numbers 14. In heat 1, Luke Alexander, Avery Santos, Arseny Vastilko, Chris Coleman, Oliver Shapcrott and Tom Selby.
In the 14, Emma Champs from Manchester clocks at 30.16. Official results on the scoreboard there.
In lane number 1, the white cap of Sam Hall of Cardiff. And in 7, Tom Selby.
We are going to move on to the next event, which is event 205.
So 30.75 for Sam Hall and Tom Selby. Both Cardiff swimmers. And the best of the remaining athletes in the pool, Avre Santos. And 14 heats to come in this one. Let's have a look back at our times from this morning. We've already had the fastest 3. So they were winning heat number 16, 17 in about 27.5 seconds, 28. So let's just enjoy the next 25 minutes or so, see how close these guys can get. Heat number 2, Alex O'Neill, Oliver Shamps, Daniel Tiboldi, Tom Mueller, George Bussey, Sam Gay, Cameron Forsyth, Rory Bowen, Matthew Tabone and Joseph Jordan Seal. It's lane number 1 again, this time Oliver Shamp of Southampton. In lane 8, Matthew Tabone of my home county, Gloucestershire. And coming through in lane number 4, George Bussey of Canterbury. But they can't stop Oliver Shamp in this seat. 37.4, 7/10 back, Matthew Tabone. And then you've got your George Bussey, 38.32. They're your top 3 in heat number 2. Now again, what I'm going to start doing, if you leave some comments in the chat boxes, if you're watching Facebook or YouTube, leave messages, questions. I'll try and get through as many as possible. Let's flick on and have a look. So we've got Tracy Conte saying go Tom Conte. Ollie Bradley Cox Supremacy. I will read out nice, positive, congratulatory and good luck messages. So feel free to drop them in there. I'll try and switch between the Facebook chat and the YouTube chat boxes. Heat 3, you got lane number 4, Tom Fisher of Coventry, ahead of Daniel Kershaw of Hull in 1. And that looked to me like Tom Fisher won that one. The scoreboard is saying it's Dan Kershaw. So I am certainly not a timing board. So we'll go with that for now. Dan Kershaw, 36 on the nose, ahead of Tom Fisher, 700ths back. And just over almost a second and a half, Oliver Bayliss is in 3rd place. Just wait for these to be ratified on our screen before we can go on to the next heat. Yeah, confirmed. Daniel Kershaw, 36 on the nose, takes it ahead of Tom Fisher. heat number 4. We've got Ashwin Dalawatage, Diego Mora, Ollie Gore, Cameron Bailey, Ryan Whittington, Lockhey and G, Nathan Room, Lachlan Caulfield, Nathan Willis and Alistair Jones. Come on Team Derby, says Megan Tuck on the YouTube chat. Got Cameron Bailey for Derby going in lane number 3 in this one. So a great atmosphere here at Sheffield, but a very respectful silence when any race is going on. And you know what, if you're in the venue, you do need to concentrate. With 2 pools competing at the same time, there is very much an awareness in the back of your mind the entire time, because there's races starting every sort of 30 seconds to a minute and in different directions. So very respectful atmosphere. And very supportive at the same time. Right, lanes 4 and 6 then. Ryan Whittington and Nathan Room in that order. 1100 separating them. You do see to the right-hand side of the starting block there, you've always got at least the next race, or maybe even the next 2 races lined up and ready to go. There is no hanging about here whatsoever, or at any swim meet that I've ever been to be perfectly honest. The way the officials run the event and organise what is hundreds of swimmers and athletes to get these to run the way they do, it is admirable to say the least. Right, heat number 5, James Anderson, Murray Prowse, Tyler Hobson, Maya Humphreys, Jeffrey Delamere, Dylan Webster-Deakin, Luke Fye, Rohit Philip Panakal, Sam Clayton and Leon Shaw. Yvonne Webster supporting Dylan in this one from Bristol. Dylan in lane number 5, and a good start as well, but not as good as Rohit Philip Panakal of Bristol in lane number 7. There we go, it is Panakal in Southern. And can Dylan hold on for second place? He does indeed. Webster-Deakin 33.32. 7 tenths or so behind Panakal in third place. We jump right over to the far lane. James Anderson in lane 0. And just like that, we're already on heat number 6. I told you this wouldn't take long whatsoever. Taking part, Peter Vi, Joseph Lancaster, Marco Lembong, Jake Lindsay, Angus Brolly, David Finnerty, Cameron Young, Alex Everson, Edin Camaranga and Simon Parker Cox. Now this is going to be one of those that's very, very hard to call. Going well, got Alex Everson and Simon Parker Cox in 7 and 9, but in the centre lanes, coming back in 5 specifically, Dave Finnerty. And it is Alex Everson who takes it 31.79. Finnerty couldn't quite catch Parker Cox down in 9. Maybe my imagination, but the water on this side of the pool seems to be a little bit quicker. Lots of quick times coming from lane 6 to 9. Heat 7, Nikolai Webber, Philip Yule, Jean-Luc Diggins, Henji Kai, Sal Callan, Owen Lawton, Samuel Sharkey, Josh Marchbeck, Ethan Delandrew and Owen Webster. Josh Marchbank, Strathclyde in lane number 7. Being taken right down to the wire with Sol Callan. Marchbank 32.53. 1300ths ahead of Callan, and in 3rd place, again it's this near side, isn't it? Ethan Delandrew this time. They're your top 3 in heat number 7. On to heat number 8. You're going to be watching from lane 0, Niall Taylor, Nake Martin, Daniel Wong, Logan Chettersey, Cathal Burns, Sam Bryan, Matt Jones, Freddie Wilkinson, Samuel Jones and Luca Solil Arnefi. Samuel Bryan of Hull in lane number 5, but Freddie Wilkinson of Cardiff Metropolitan. So the times are edging closer to 30 seconds or even subs. We did have in our fastest times this morning, we already had, if you are just joining us, just to explain again, and I'll do this throughout the day, in BUCS swimming here at Sheffield, in every event we'll always have our fastest 3 heats first. So for example, we're going to watch now up to heat number 14 in the 50 breaststroke. We've already seen heats 15, 16 and 17 at the start of the session, okay? And those were fastest times, around about 27 seconds to be specifics for this event. And what that does, it gives the fastest swimmers, or those most likely, the 30 most likely swimmers to be in our A and B final, a little bit more time to rest and recuperate before the finals on later on this evening. And then, after we've had the fastest 3 heats in each event, then we go back and run the earlier heats. So if it seems a little bit out of sync, that's the reason why. And we are currently in heat number 9. And on the far side, lane 0, Chris Sims of York, getting very close to the 30 second, or well under sub 31, 30.84 for Sims. 2nd place, Alistair Petterson, 31.08, and Harry Furnish in your top 3 on this near side. In fact, it was tied for 3rd with Nicholas Lim of Oxford. All right, heat number 10. Chris Sims, Vincent Nguyen, Alistair Peterson, Joe Thorpe, Nicholas Lim, Thomas Graham, Ewan Walters. Hang on, heat 10. Iona Delay. Hang on a sec, let me find heat number 10. These heats go so quickly. Right, paperwork turned over from lane 0. Let's get this race underway. You've got Ian Delay, Josh Maitland, Matthew Hanlon, Adam Writing, Tristan Durtest, Alfie Collins, Phelan McNally, Finley Paul, Joshua Patel and Dom Gillow. They are your swimmers in heat number 10. And lanes 6 and 1, Phelan McNally of Glasgow and Ion Delay of Manchester. Then your top 2 into the final couple of metres on this near side. Lane number 9, you've got Dom Gillow, but it's actually Alfie Collins who nips 3rd place ahead of Gillow. And it was Phelan McNally, 30.83, ahead of Delay on the far side, lane 0. And 10 plus 1 means our next heat is number 11, Ewan. Come on, that's good. Those times are confirmed from heat number 10. And heat 11 then. Miles Harris, George Davies, Tom Stevens, Josh Morrison, James Bilbao, Ethan Horn, Jacob Cook, Tom Stevens, Georgios Papageorgiou and Oscar Piercy. Universities from all over the UK converging in Sheffield this long weekend. Been a funny old year, so great to see competitive swimming here in venue, and of course live streamed the entire event too. Ethan Horn, sub 30, excellent, 29.26 for him. James Bilbao, 2.5 back, but second in the heat. And I knew we'd get there eventually. Ethan Horn, congratulations, sub 30. And we've got 3 heats to come. How fast can we get? Can we get down to the 27/27.5 needed to get into one of those A or B finals? Couple of opportunities left before we move on to the 100-metre butterfly heat. That'll be our final heat of the session. It's flying past, isn't it? Before you know it, it'll be the finals later on tonight. And the volume will be very much increased in the venue. It does get louder and louder as the day and the couple of days goes on. Plenty of natural light in the venue at the moment, but when it's dark outside and the lights come on, it's just so great to be back poolside again. So ignore the mark on your screen there, because in lane number 8 and 9 you've got Harry Brown and Josh Wilson. It is Josh Wilson that takes it, 30.51, and it's your 2 outside lanes that are your leaders, because Ollie Lille, 30.6, 11 hundredths back. So from the wings we get our winners in heat number 12. Heat number 13, penultimate heat then. You've got Jonathan Quinn, Alexander Florence, Dakota Ravatali, Stephen Stanley, Tom Ward, Jack Mansfield, Lewis Chapman, Mark Hutchin, Lewis Njayan and Mikhailo Rosenfeld. So a couple of messages coming in from the Facebook chat. Tracy Attenborough says, good luck to Matthew Hardick, Plymouth Uni, from Mum, Dad and Laura, watching live in Wiltshire. Hope you're enjoying your morning, guys. Jonathan Quinn takes heat number 13, 30.22. And again, second heat in a row. First and second place are in lanes 0 and 9. I love trends and interesting little spots like that. Mikhailo Rosenfeld is your second place from a 30.49. A couple of other managers. Bunny Farnsworth, go Team Leicester. Especially Ella Farnsworth. Tracy Choron, go Team UCL. Especially Louis. I'm guessing that must be. I'm going to make a guess, Tracy. Is that your boy? And Karina Pentland, good luck to Bath University, and Lewis Maxwell. It is first BUCS. Oh, fantastic. From cousin Jamie. Right, heat number 14. You've got Josh Mitchell, Matt Gray, Raphael Elfathero, Jamie Kettle, Joe Keeley, Ewan Taylor, Hayden Woolley, William Murray, Don Bissett and Herman Lau. Yes, Louis is Tracy's boy, confirmed from Mum. Please do get involved, enjoy the chat, and I'll read out as many messages as I possibly can. It is going to be a fun weekend, and you can make it even better by talking along with us. My name's Ewan. I'll be here both days. And again, a winner from the outside. This is ridiculous. 3 in a row. Josh Mitchell in lane 0, 29.33. 29.55. Almost a second place in lane number 9 too. But a third place for Herman Lau. And it is Hayden Woolley. So really good times now, under 30 seconds. And that is the last of our 50-metre breaststroke heats. And finally now, can you believe it? Can you believe it? This is the final set of heats for our session this morning. We're enjoying ourselves far too much. And we're going to see 10 heats in the men's 100-metre butterfly. Coming up first, Nathan Room, Lewis Clark, Thomas Bogdanski, Meher Habri, Kieran Davison-Blake and Jack Dolly. 10 heats to come. We've already seen the fastest 3 this morning. And just as a reminder, they were roughly, I'm going to say again, not to be confirmed yet, but getting into the final, A or B final, you're looking at around anything between sort of 50 and 54, 55 seconds is what you need to be hitting. So let's see how this 10 heats progresses. So 4 lengths of our short course pool. I'm just trying to find my phone charger so I can keep watching the YouTube stream and make sure I'm watching all your comments and things. I'll tell you what, this is a really good swim here, isn't it? From Jack Dolly of Nottingham. And that is what we call going for it. Helen Dunn says go Isaac and the Aberystwyth team. And that is a 1:86 for Jack Dolly. Some from Nottingham. And interestingly, Jack Dolly wasn't on my start sheet, so I can't tell you what his sort of entry time coming into this was. So heat number 2, Tom Lean, Dan Lyon-Smith, Owen Mason, Matthew Dubé, William Beasley, Ollie Carter in the S10 category, Tristan G, Ryan Stephen, Ryan Sanders and Ben Coupland. And if you are leaving any messages in the Facebook or the YouTube chat, if you can, if you're giving a shout out to a swimmer, feel free to drop in their event and heat number if you know it as well, so I can try and time the shouts a little bit better. Happy to give out any shouts at any time. If you let me know when they're swimming, we can do a nice little, if I'm coordinated enough, I can try and do them during the actual event, which is always quite nice. So quick start here for William Beasley of De Montfort in lane number 4. And that is quick to halfway, 27.97. That is a flying start. Always fun to see if they can maintain it. Have they gone out too quick, or are they just having a great day? In lane number 8, you've got Ryan Sanders of St Andrews. And he has, hasn't he? He has had a good swim. Slower second half naturally, 1:01.49, but he'll have enjoyed that on William Beasley. Almost clear water to his left and right. Closest was Ollie Carter, 3 seconds back. And Ollie Carter again in the S10 category. Heat 3, Mitchell Stevenson, JJ Robbins, Felix Hale, Lucas Solil Arnefi, John Roberts, Jordan Barnes, Isaac Gaidan, Campbell Walford, Edmund Spink and Liam Petrie. My goodness, look at that, your top 6 within 0.86 of a second. That can't be much more contrasting to heat number 2, can it? You've had you might have heard that DQ announcement from heat number 1, lane number 4. Felix Hale, 102.13, takes heat number 3. Campbell Walford in second place, 102.22 for second place. And Isaac Gaidan, 102.6. Rounds out your top 3 in heat number 3. Again, 10 heats in total to enjoy, to amazingly conclude our opening session of this Saturday's day number 2 of the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships. Heat number 4, we've got Amy Wyatt, Andre Gare, Angus Harrow, Josh Morrison, Jack Endersby, Johnny James, Odran Mallon, Henry Bennett, Shaheen Al-Ghafari and Kashif Carter. Now, as well as dropping chat messages into the YouTube and Facebook pages, streams that you're watching, there are competitions across the weekend from Speedo and BUCS. So, giving away things like power banks, towels, bags, and the latest fast skiing goggles. All you've got to do, it is this easy to win some Speedo prizes. Grab your squad, or your mates, or your mascots, whoever it might be, put a photo on Instagram, tag Speedo UK, and use the hashtag SpeedoBucks. And there's going to be prizes for the best photos every day. Don't miss that easy opportunity to win some Speedo gear. Grab your teammates and your friends, put a photo on Instagram, hashtag SpeedoBucks and tab Speedo UK. Shaheen Al-Ghafari, look at that, here we go, 58.48. These are the times we were thinking we might get down to, and he's managed to do it. Heat number 4, that's a cracking time for a heat 4 swim. And props as well to Odran Mallon, 59.48, and Johnny James, 59.85. 3 great swims to drop under and well under for Al-Ghafari, the minute mark. Another second off that, or a second and a half, and you might be looking at a spot in a B final later on tonight. Heat 5, Hugh Morgan, Joe Rees, Charlie Barrett, Sam Peck, Adam Akic, Jack Price, Jamie Booth, Ben Reed, Iga Genki Zumanovic and Bradley Cox. So again, a really close one. Look at that. Reed winning, then 0.23, 0.23, 0.23, 0.32. Oh my goodness, it looked close. 3 men tied to the 100th through the opening 50 metres. Surely not. Surely not through 100. Let's wait and see and enjoy. In lane number 1, Joe Rees has come through a great second 15. It will be a little bit separated because in lanes number 8 and 9, there we go, Joe Rees, 59.87, and Igor Genki Zumanovic and Bradley Cox just outside the minute mark by 4 and 6 tenths respectively. But great fun being had by all here in Sheffield. Heat number 6. Ruben Alexander, Tom Jackson, Tom Costi, Finley Chapman, Alexander Song, Sean Penter, Chris Mother, Adel Adkali, Rory Young and Nathan Morey. So just a confirmation that our next session is going to start from 2 p.m. And so there will be a really nice break for you to go and enjoy an hour or two on your Saturday lunchtime. But do not forget to come back, because it's just going to get better and better as the afternoon and especially the night goes on. Very, very much looking forward to tonight's session, the final session. And in lane number 7, Adel Akeli of Sheffield Hallam. He's got his forearms out in front. Coming back though, lane 3, Finley Chapman of Sheffield Hallam, his teammate. This is going to be tight between the two home swimmers. It was tight, wow. Finley Chapman got it, 58.44 ahead of Adel Akeli and Sean Penter. All those 3 men under 59 seconds, separated by under 4 tenths. This is beautiful swimming here in Sheffield at the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships. Heat 7, we are not stopping, there's no delay at all. It's absolutely wall-to-wall swimming action. You've got Alex Goodacre, Lucas Lawman, Adam Poole, Ruslan Golubs, Andre Stidham, Aaron Priest, Thomas Boyd, Sam Thornton, Ethan Wright and Louis Choron. Message from B. Tritton on the YouTube chat. Let's go Ribena. $50 meters through. Aaron Priest leading the way, 26.94. Good halfway time that. Yeah, swimmer from Nottingham is Aaron Priest. 22 years old, and him and his green cap will comfortably take this heat. It's 57.5. We are getting low, guys. These are quick times. I just want to double check myself. Yeah, we need to have any chance of getting into the B final. I think the A might be out of reach because they were around about sort of 53, 54 seconds, but 55, 56, maybe even as high 56s is getting close. It'll all be confirmed before tonight's session, of course. But yeah, these are maybe quicker than anticipated on paper here on our opening or earlier 10 sessions. Right, Hugh Williams, Piers Bowden, Dylan Gallagher, Leo Karski, Tristan Detest, Zach Speakman, Zebedee Wakely, Davesh Kapoor, Jack Turrell and Sean Craigmile. Lanes 2 and 5, that's Dylan Gallagher of Swansea and Zach Speakman of Stirling, your halfway leaders. And again, 25.48, so halfway is quick. We've just had a 57.5 and that was 26.8 to halfway. So, you know, doing some quick easy maths, a second off at halfway. That could be a 56.5 or lower. But that is of course, a massive assumption. But it's looking close. It could be, you know, this could be even lower. This could be in the 55s. 54.72 for Zach Speakman. We're waiting for a time from Dylan Gallagher, 55.11. Wow, that is cracking time for Speakman. And the Stirling swimmer, great swimming university, Stirling. They are always, alongside the likes of Loughborough and Edinburgh, always one of our top universities at BUCS events in the swimming pool. And 54.72, that could be one of the earlier heats that jumps into those finals. Zach and his loved ones and his teammates will have to wait and see. Right, heat number 9. What can these guys do? Charles Lung, Jamie O'Connor, Ian Fletcher, Alex Sharman, Declan Pang, Jay Cushion, Max Bolcato, Kieran Beckett, Andrew Wilson and Fraser Wilson. Quick starts this time from Ian Fletcher of Durham. Got Kieran Beckett of Manchester. Again, that's a 4/10 again quicker to the halfway mark than Zach Speakman, who just went mid-54s in heat number 8. So inspiring the heats behind him, maybe. And it's the white cap of Durham and Ian Fletcher who's going to take it. Oh, it's close, my goodness me, 56.99 for Kieran Beckett. A slower second half for those boys. Just shows how good Speakman's second 50 was. Ian Fletcher, 57.07 for second place, and another 1300ths back to Andrew Wilson. And we've got one heat to come. Final heat then, heat number 10, William Graham, Aidan Carroll, Miles Lapsley, Andrew Hong, Jay Manes, Ewan Cowan, Oscar Smiley, Will Morris, Elliot Day and Max Nugent. And Alison Chatterday says, woohoo, go Logan Chatterjee, Anglia Ruskin and Timon Chapman. East Anglia, but both Bude Sharks and Cornwall, well done. And also ask, is there a programme to download? To an extent, yes. Alison, if you go on the BUCS swimming, or just go onto Google BUCS swimming, maybe even try 2021, you'll get taken to a page and there'll be 4 tabs, and one of those is competition resources. So you can download the start sheets, the timings, who's taking part, etc, etc. There's great resources on the BUCS website, so Google BUCS Swimming 2021. It should be the first link that you use on your browser there, and there is a competition resources page for you, so you can download all the documents I've got in front of me to help me talk through the weekend as well. So this is the last then heat of this session, and it is being stormed through by Andrew Hong of Oxford in the white cap in lane number 3. His time is 55.04, so doesn't quite match that time of Zach Speakman of Stirling in heat number 8, but great end to his morning. So that, in fact, absolutely record rapid pace concludes our opening session of day number 2. It's officially session 2 because I had a session last night, which was session 1. So next up, 2 o'clock onwards, the warm-ups will start from about 1 o'clock. We'll be going live with the racing at 2 o'clock. It's session number 3. We will be moving to the North Pool, which is about 50 metres to the left of what you can see right now, and we're going to be concentrating on the women's racing in our next session from 2 o'clock. That is going to be the 200 backstroke, the 50 freestyle, the 200 breaststroke and the 800 metre freestyle, which is only 2 heats with a heat declared winner. So we'll have our first medalists of the day in our next session. So my name's Ewan, thank you for joining me on this opening session for the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships, part of the Speedo and BUCS Swimming Series. Get involved in the conversation. Again, we've got competitions across the weekend. Make sure if you take a photo with your friends or teammates here at the venue or anywhere where you might be, use the hashtag @SpeedoBucks and tag Speedo UK. There are prizes to be won. It couldn't be easier to win prizes. Just make sure it's a really good photo. So join me again from 2 o'clock onwards for session number 3. Enjoy your break, and we'll be back to Ponds Forge International Sports Centre very shortly for the continuation of the Speedo and BUCS Short Course Swimming Championships 2021.